Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexual My Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right down below, right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we go along if you're enjoying the content. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this wonderful book, Asexual Practice, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. And they are real life asexual stories in there. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, welcome to tonight's episode. And yes, a stranger told me asexuality was normal and I was shocked. I was pleasantly shocked because this is not something you often hear mentioned in conversation, in passing with a stranger, but yeah, asexuality is normal. So what happened was I was in my local supermarket, a different supermarket to the one I talked about yesterday, and I'd gone through the checkout and this guy was packing his shopping, and I said, "That's a really nice t-shirt you've got on," because he had a really nice t-shirt, and he said, "Yeah, I only got it recently." And so I said, "Oh, I design t-shirts," and he said, "Oh, I thought about getting into that." And he said, "What type of t-shirts do you make?" And I said, "I design them for a specific niche." And he said, "Yeah, well, what's the niche?" So I told him asexuality. He said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "Oh, you probably haven't even heard of it before." He goes, "Yeah, that's normal, isn't it?" And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was in shock, pleasantly shocked, right? And I said, "Oh, okay. You know, it's to do with the lack of sexual attraction." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh yeah, me and my partner are like that." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Oh, are they like she asexual too, or he?" Because obviously I can't just assume it's a she. He goes, "No, she." He said, "She's bisexual." He goes, "But we know all about that." So it kind of made me think, are they biromantic or what? But you know, if you're bisexual, you're kind of different anyway to the normal heteronormative. So you're more likely to know about more minority sexualities. So yeah, he was really, really positive about it and everything. So it was just, to him, it was just normal and natural. And I was just so pleasantly surprised and shocked that I just felt great, you know, and I wanted to share that with you. And then he was obviously started talking to me about t-shirts and designing t-shirts and stuff like that. But I just thought it was so good. I mean, this was in another local supermarket, so everyone around me could hear. So once I'm talking to this guy, because we just checked out, and so in this particular supermarket, you put all your shopping food, you put it back in your basket, which is a bit different to other supermarkets. You put it back in your basket, then you take your basket away from the counter, and you go and pack it at the towards the doorway where there's like a shelf. And so, yeah, that's what he was doing. You see, packing his basket, and that's how I got talking to him. So obviously, when I'm talking to him, everyone that's near that's basically at the tills that can hear my loud voice, because I'm very loud, as you know, can, you know, obviously hear about asexuality. So I'm spreading awareness. I said that I was a speaker at the UK Asexuality Conference last year as well. And I've been educating people online since 2015. So I just thought it's brilliant, because obviously yesterday's video was about a guy I met in another supermarket who I knew from school and hadn't seen since I was 16 years old. And they said their housemate was asexual, female asexual. And then this guy has heard about it from his being with his girlfriend, and it's normal. So I just wanted to share that with you. I know that it's, you know, it's only like a little bit of information, but I think it's really important to share this you know, these events when they come out. I think it's really important to know that asexuality is getting better known, because that's what I said to this guy. I said, well, asexuality is becoming, he's like, he couldn't understand why I didn't know that it was normal. Well, to me it's normal, but the general population usually isn't. But I said, well, it is becoming better known now. There is more media coverage. You know, people are getting to know about it more in the last few years. So it is really good news. He's like, well, yeah, me and my partner, you know, it's just really normal. So I kind of got the inkling that maybe they're asexual too, but I don't know. It's just a kind of weird that part of the conversation. But, you know, I just thought it's great. I do know minorities, people who are bisexual or homosexual. They're more likely, obviously, if they're homosexual, you know, like LGBT, you know, we're part of the lesbian, gay, bi, trans community. You know, that's what asexuality is tied to the acronym. So obviously, if we're part of the acronym, then people in those different minorities of sexualities are more likely to know about asexuality anyway, and for it to be normal. And I just wanted to say how happy I am that, you know, more and more people are getting to know about asexuality. More and more people are getting to talk about it and see it as normal, because the more they see it as normal, the more chance we've got of meeting the right asexual person for us if we want a relationship, or making more asexual friends, which, you know, to have just asexual friends, even though I haven't got a partner yet, that's fine, because I've got some really good asexual friends. My best asexual friends coming to see me this weekend, and it just feels fantastic. So, you know, keep up the good work. If you are watching this and you're spreading awareness in any way, if you're sharing my videos, I really appreciate it. I really love you for it. If you're, you know, just mentioning asexuality, if you're talking about it, you know, anything, even if you're giving these videos a thumbs up, which I really appreciate, because I know, you know, it does make a difference, you know, because the more you give the thumbs up, the more YouTube gets it up in their algorithm. So when someone searches asexuality, or for a topic that I discuss about asexuality, it comes up in search engines, so it's more likely to be recognised. So there you are, again, spreading more awareness of asexuality. So I really appreciate, you know, anytime you get a chance and opportunity to mention asexuality, even if you're not asexual yourself, it's really good for us, you know, as a whole society, because it's really important that as children grow up, they know that they don't have to have sex. They know that they can have a loving, healthy, happy relationship without sex, you know. And some people, you know, still don't understand that. There was a guy who, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. There's a guy who, I don't know if I think I told you some time ago, who's not asexual, and he was being a bit disgusting in a private message to me, saying, oh, you're sexy and other stuff, you know. And yeah, I said to him, yeah, I know I'm sexy. I mean, obviously not everyone finds me sexy, but I know the guy, like, he keeps going on about it, so I just say, yeah, fine. But just because I'm sexy doesn't mean to say I want sex. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a really important message to get across to people, that however attractive you might be to some people, you know, who are sexual, it doesn't mean to say you need to have sex or should have to have it with someone, you know. And then I said to him last time, I said, you know, I've got better things to be doing with my time than talk about this, right? Because he did put another message saying you're sexy, and he retracted it, because and he goes, oh, I said, I saw what you put. He goes, oh, I didn't want to upset you. I said, well, what you said last time I didn't really need to know, but, you know, what was worse is you said that if I had sex with you, that I'd like it. I said, you're not going to change my sexual orientation doing something like that, and I don't want it anyway. And then he's like, and then you know, I said, I've had good sex in the past, I don't want sex, I don't like it, you know, my ex was good at that, that's it, I've had enough of that. And he's like, oh, well, how often did you do it? And I said, it's none of your business, it's irrelevant, you know. I don't want to know why people don't understand this, that are sexual. It doesn't matter how little or how much sex I've had, it doesn't change my sexual orientation and the fact that I really don't want it, you know. I don't have to have it. I know there are other asexuals. I haven't met the right asexual guy for me yet to be in a relationship, because I would like a relationship. I haven't even met a guy who comes close to the ideal type of guy that I want, you know. There isn't anyone. I've got really good friends, but that's not the same thing, you know. There's no guy I've met that's, you know, worthy of my, you know, my devoted love, because there's no one that matches up to what I personally want in a relationship. Just like, you know, there's a lot of things you need to get straight before you enter a relationship, you know. You need to be very specific about what you want, you know. You need to be very specific about what the type of person you want, you know, what type of deal breakers they shouldn't, you know, that you have. Like, I don't want children, I don't want marriage, I definitely don't want sex, you know. You know, and I really want a guy who's into IT or business, you know, someone who will support me in my career and with asexuality. It's really important, because I'm out to the world about being asexual, and there's a lot of people, like guys, that just can't accept that, or they're too scared of it. And I'm like, I don't want someone like that. I want a strong guy for me, and I want a guy who actually wants a long-term, loving, lasting, committed relationship, and says, yeah, I want to be with Sandra. There isn't a guy that shows up. There's guys that show up that are attracted to me sexually. There's guys that show up that are attracted to me in other ways besides sexually. But there's no guy that actually says that it want, that says and means and can actually commit to me in a serious long-term relationship. And at the end of the day, I don't want something casual. I'm not interested in it. I'd rather stay single. At the moment, I am just focusing on being single. I don't see, there's no one that's any of my friends that's ever going to be in a relationship with me that at the moment, because none of those friends are suitable for me to be in a relationship with. So this means in the future that I will be meeting, other guys in the future, and I haven't met someone suitable. So, but I think it's very important that we get the message across to people from a young age that they don't have to have sex in order to have a long, loving, lasting, happy relationship. I mean, when you've got guys like that, who message me, yes, I could block him. I'm still thinking about blocking him. But at the end of the day, there'll still be 10 of guys like him out there, This guy I've actually known online for quite a while, but even if I block him, there'll still be another guy around the corner like him, It's kind of interesting to just, I don't like his attitude, and that makes me think about blocking him. At the same time, I kind of want to know what sexual guys think to remind me of how repulsive it is, really. I mean, I know it's repulsive, but obviously I live so much in my own little world, in my own asexual world, that, I kind of want to be reminded sometimes of how the sexual guys really are, some of them, because I don't want to go anywhere near that type of guy, They are scary as hell when they think they're going to fix you by having sex with you. I mean, a person who doesn't want sex doesn't have sex, because it's classed as rape. And I think people really need to be aware of this, and especially the greater wide world need to be more and more aware of asexuality, since most asexuals don't want sex in the first place. If you're trying to do that with one of us, it's rape, and there's laws in place for that, and it's abuse. So I want to make that quite clear, and I think it's just good that I'm meeting more people that do respect asexuality. Whatever, I've got this guy who's being an idiot, quite frankly, very disrespectful. He should know better, because he's not a kid, really. They are respectful guys around, there are respectful guys, this guy I met in the supermarket today, he's probably in his, I don't know, late 20s, probably. The guy I met yesterday, I think he's in his early 40s. Maybe he looks in his 30s though. But these are what I call younger people, because I don't think that's that old. Well, neither of them looked very old. The guy who's in the supermarket yesterday looked much younger than that. But yeah, so it's just really good to contrast, the idiots who are just thinking they can fix you by being very ignorant about what asexuality is. They clearly don't understand or cannot accept the fact it's a sexual orientation. Asexuality is. It's not some condition. I mean, I was quite shocked today when I just had a brief look at asexuality.com to see if there was any new people on there for a possible relationship, and because it's good to keep your eyes open a bit at these things. And I don't go on there that much anymore, very often, like I used to. And, this guy's going, oh, it's very lonely with this condition. I haven't got a condition. Asexuality is not a condition. Asexuality is a sexual orientation. It's not a condition. It's not a disease. It's not an illness. It's not something that's wrong with anyone. Do you know what I mean? And I don't understand why people are calling it a condition, and lots of people keep saying they're so lonely, and I kind of partly get it, but it's just because you're asexual doesn't mean to say you need to be lonely either, Yes, it'd be great if I found a nice asexual romantic guy for me, but I haven't found one. I haven't found one even close to my ideal guy. I found guys that I thought were close in my head, but really they're not in reality, because romantic wise, I've thought, yeah, that'd be nice. But really, they can't step up to the plate. They're not strong enough for me, and they're not a good match for me, So I haven't met the right guy. And if I'm single forever, so be it. I've got a great life. I've got a very good degree of flexibility when I'm single. That's the benefits. I mean, obviously, as asexuals that watch this show that are single and they don't want a relationship ever, especially the aromantic asexuals, they're happy being on their own. I want to empower you to know that that's fine to be on your own. You can be on your own forever. You can be single forever. There's nothing wrong in that. Just like there's nothing wrong in being asexual, it's your sexual orientation. If you don't find someone that you want to be in a relationship with, or you never want to be in a relationship with someone, that is fine. It's perfectly valid. You know, in some ways, it's a better life because all you have to do is rely on yourself. There's no one else to worry about. You can take off whenever you want. You can travel the world if you want. You can move from city to city. You can go where the heck you want, do what you want. You're completely, solely responsible for yourself. But, you know, everyone in the world has a duty of care to other people and to treat people with respect. And, you know, I've got the contrast in like 2 days of the guy that I used to know from school yesterday who has a housemate who's sexual, to the guy who is sexually attracted to me, who is like, keeps saying I'm sexy and clearly wants to fix my orientation or thinks having sex with him is going to be this marvelous, wonderful thing. Usually guys like that are the worst at sex because they are stick the dick in types who are, all they want is to have sex. Literally, that's it. So usually the guys that brag like that about you haven't had sex with me, they're actually the worst people you could possibly have sex with. You know, even if as an asexual you're going to try it, which I wouldn't with any that type of guy. You know, I want to run a mile. He's the type of guy that I would worry about getting too physically close to. I would worry me doing something that I don't want him to do, and I'll be running the other way. You know, I mean, he's in another country. He's not gonna, you know, like do that. But you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, contrast that with the guy I met in the supermarket today. He was like, yeah, it's normal, no big deal, you know, it's like, it's natural. Do you know what I mean? There's two, you can see all the contrasting views between people who understand asexuals, who respect us, who value our worth, who are, you know, like even the guy yesterday I knew from school, it was like, yeah, well, my housemate's asexual, it's normal type thing as well. You know, the attitude is so different. You've got such contrasting opinions and views. And I just wish that, you know, I'm trying to get like a lot of other people are raising more awareness of asexuality, because we need people to understand it more so that, you know, less and less people feel pressurized into having sex when they don't want to. You know, when you're asexual and you don't know anyone else that's asexual and you think you're the only one in the world, like I used to do, that doesn't want sex and can't be loved without sex, you know, you're forced to think that sex and love go together, and that if you don't have sex you're not going to ever get a loving relationship. And that's such a bad message to give out to people, but it's what society shoves into us day in, day out. And I just wish one day that schools would have information about asexuality, you know. I really do. It's not like I haven't talked to a few people about this. You know, there's someone who I know works for the government, and they deal with abuse, you know, in relationships, and they go around, you know, they I think get in schools, and I approached them about, you know, doing stuff to do with asexuality, but they just didn't bother responding. You know, it's very difficult. It's like local government as well. I've messaged my local MP, and they were like, oh, the government's doing more for LGBT, but it's like, where's asexuality? I know asexuality is supposed to be part of LGBT, but there was no mention, you know, like I think asexuality was included in a survey they did, which is great, but it's like, where is it that people are getting the message they don't have to have sex? Because if you're lesbian, if you're gay, if you're bisexual, trans is like to do with gender, it's not to do with your sexuality. You can be any sexuality regardless of your gender. But you know, lesbian, gay, bisexual, they're still people who like, enjoy sex predominantly. They're still sexual, you know. It's like, even if they get that into curriculum, which is really, really good, because I want minorities to get in there. I have gay and lesbian friends, you know, it's really important, don't get me wrong, but where is the message you can be in a relationship without sex? Where is that message? It's diluted, or it's not even there, because these people are still sexual and we're not. And I just wish, you know, it'd be so good if I had this person come into my school at 15 and got told, you know, look, there's this orientation, that sexual orientation, it's a lack of sexual attraction, and, you know, you don't have to have sex. There are people who will love you without that. You just got to find the right one of those, you know. And it's okay to state to the person in the relationship or any future relationships, you don't want to have sex. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to, you know. And I think that would be so much better. I mean, all the dating coaches, all of them teach to have the physical sex as part of the physical relationship. They don't teach, good coaches don't teach that first. They teach to hold off, to wait for a while. Don't just give them your body. Don't just have sex with them. Don't just get physical with them. You know, wait to see if they are going to live up to your expectation of being the right type of person you actually want in your life if you want a relationship. You know, so they are good coaches out there, but you know, there's no one apart from me who talks about this in relationships, because I predominantly talk about relationships on this channel. There are some other asexuals that talk about relationships on their channel as well, you know, but there's not really anyone else. I mean, I specifically do talk a lot about dating and relationships on this channel. There's not really many people who specifically talk about sex-free relationships apart from, you know, limited people like me. So it's really important we get the message out there. And if you are watching this, if you're not asexual, please do spread the word. It's really important. And I really appreciate you. Anyway, thank you for listening tonight. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you like this video at all, please share it with a friend. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Thank you for watching. Love to you. Bye.